Recording. Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah.
Been on a little bit of a hiatus, but don't worry. We're back with a bunch of nonsense to talk. Well, a bunch. We didn't do any prep work at all. We just kind of sat down and talked about old sad stories of childhood.
Yeah, and obesity.
Yeah, childhood obesity. But yeah, we didn't do any prep work at all, but I feel like we can flow back into this and not miss too many beats.
Yeah, so I watched, it's probably the first Saturday that I was able to sit down and watch multiple college football games.
Yeah.
I mean, I just, they haven't been really any decent enough games for me to pay attention to. I just kind of assume that they're, the better team's going to win.
Right.
But, yesterday, I watched Notre Dame and Louisville, which whoever does the ranking systems in this period of time during the season, and they have Notre Dame at number 4, they've never watched Notre Dame play football. They are garbage. Garbage.
Yeah.
Louisville may be the worst team in the ACC, and it was a close match. Louisville was winning at one point. I mean, your final score was 12-7.
Yeah. And it's 2020 college football of, hey, let's open these books up because nobody can really hang with the receivers.
Exactly. No. I'll tell you, Louisville rushed 3 about 85% of the game and dropped back 8.
Yeah.
Run the fucking ball. Nope.
It's shocking how nobody knows how to do that.
Yeah, we're going to drop back and we're going to throw crossing routes and we're going to throw deep routes. Well, there's people there when you throw those, so those aren't open. Like Book was sacked. The first half. Book was sacked like 7 times because nobody was open. Like, stop.
Yeah,
stop.
how are you gonna
stop? Nobody's open. There's 8 people being dropped back. I do not know why consistently every year they talk about Notre Dame as a contender when they're just not. They're a solid football team. They're not anywhere near a playoff contender or anything of that nature.
They're a solid football team. They're a great football team for what they are.
Exactly.
When you lump them in with Northwestern. And because, I mean, it's just, there's no doubt about it. Their academic stringency.
Yes.
Hey,
it hurts their recruiting.
Get them pass rushers, man.
It is. And it hurts their recruiting. And I would assume that they were able to get a quarterback at some point in time.
Yeah.
But they haven't lately. Like Brady Quinn. You know what I mean? Has been their best quarterback of the last whatever.
The former guy had 4 touchdowns last week for the Steelers.
Yeah, exactly.
He came off that Notre Dame team. Like, they get guys. Yeah. They just don't get the depth of talent. No. I mean, that a lot of schools get. And when I say a lot, I mean like 7. Yeah.
So, seriously, yeah, you're right. But they continuously produce offensive linemen each and every year, but yet no running backs. That I Googled. I Wikipedia searched.
Did you give it a Google?
I did. I gave it a Google. It said Notre Dame draft picks over the last 10 years, and it was from this past year's draft to like 2000, and it popped up as 2001. So over 19 years, there wasn't a running back that made the roster that was drafted out of Notre Dame.
Oh.
Maybe one, like Theo Riddick was the only name that really popped up that I recognized.
And barely.
Yeah. I mean, he made the Lions roster for like 3 seasons. Yeah. But continuously offensive linemen. How do you have this good of offensive linemen, but you don't have any people to run the ball? But
then again, I mean, that's kind of a Brian Kelly thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they don't, I mean, hell, even when he was at Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And really run the ball. It was.
Mm-hmm. But
he was on the front lines of that. Oh yeah, him and Mike Leach. Who, we don't have any players.
Yeah,
just shit on your whole team, Mike. Okay, but yeah, I mean, but at Notre Dame to compete wise though, I think you have to have that wacky kind of not that it's wacky anymore, but it was deemed that way when he's this isn't gonna work.
Yeah, but as much they throw to the tight ends more than anybody in college football. Which is
always
okay.
have solid tight ends.
Always have solid tight ends, which is fine. A lot of the tight end opening is off of play action. But when you don't run the ball,
how does play action
work? That's my thing. And when they ran for second quarter, they started running the ball and they started gashing Louisville.
Yeah,
because they were rushing 3. and they were dropping back in zone.
Your freaking linebackers were 12 yards deep, man.
Exactly. And I'm not obviously not any sort of a Division I coach, but it doesn't take a genius to know I got 5 guys blocking. They're rushing 3. Maybe they may have a 6-man box. I'm just still going to go ahead and run the ball.
I don't wonder they talk about that like with Mike McCarthy and stuff like that in the NFL of how they just get falling in love with the passing game and they just forget. Like how Dallas forgets they have Ezekiel Elliott and they gave him a bunch of money.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's the Notre Dame. I don't care for them.
No, and
but that's because
my biggest
it's only because they get so much credit.
Exactly.
And they're not good.
They're not good. And I do not hate them as much as I did because they joined the ACC. So they got a little bit of hatred off my back. It doesn't matter. They still joined a conference.
And here's one that really gets me because they're always rated high. And they say, well, but their schedule, they play a good schedule. It's like, do they? Because like their main game every year is USC.
Yeah. Or Michigan.
Yeah, or Michigan.
Michigan. They play a tough schedule. Okay, they're playing the ACC this year. Everybody was knocking fucking Clemson last year. Because they didn't play anybody.
Yeah, and that's who they joined.
And that's who they joined with?
Even before this year, they played, 5 ACC games? That was part of the thing to keep their basketball in the ACC.
They had to play 5 ACC schools. And it was like bottom-tier ACC schools.
Yeah, they didn't play Clemson.
No, they played fucking Florida State or, anybody like that. But I don't know. So that game pissed me off because it was boring as shit. And I thought, wow, you're Notre Dame. You're Brian Kelly, a very well-respected coach.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of things you're producing. That would upset me. So then I turn over to Texas A&M, Mississippi State. Wow.
I'm going to just interject here a second.
Go ahead.
You're talking about I don't know who does the rankings.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody doing the rankings has watched any SEC games. Now, granted, I know that the Big Ten and them aren't playing. It's going to be bulk SEC teams in the top 20 because you got to pick 25 teams.
Yeah.
They should just do a top 10 and call it.
Yeah.
But boy, and I know we have, I think one of your buddies is an SEC fan that used to listen to, I don't know if he still does or not.
Listens, yeah.
The SEC fucking sucks. Right now, the football is garbage.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and continue on.
Okay, so I watched Texas A&M and Mississippi State. Okay? Holy shit. You're right. It was terrible.
Awful.
It was terrible football. I mean, Mississippi State could barely get the fucking ball up and down the field. Texas A&M, I don't know how you look at I'm so mad because you're right. My buddy he's a huge Florida fan. I was so mad last week when they beat him. I was just, are you serious? Texas A&M? You know what I mean? It was just like one of those things. Texas fucking A&M beat you guys? They suck. They're terrible. They are the bottom of the barrel with Mississippi State.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such atrocious football. I couldn't get over. Hell, the Ole Miss Arkansas game was better.
With 6 interceptions?
Yeah, it was way better.
And think about that. Here's where I go in on the SEC not being any good. Now, granted, Big Ten starts next week. I'm sure they're going to look like shit, too. I think it's just one of those years.
Yeah.
But a team that threw 6 interceptions yesterday just put up like 600 fucking yards and 50 points on Alabama last week. Yeah. Probably should have beat Alabama.
Yes, for sure. If they could tackle.
Yeah.
And they lose.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Who is probably your bottom pit.
Has been for a decade.
Many years, yes. Since Darren McFadden's been there.
And then, oh my God, Auburn.
Yeah. People just fucking quit on Auburn. I mean, Jesus Christ. Go ahead and talk about your favorite coach.
You know what? It's going on. It's been well over a year I've been saying this now. Gus, time to go.
Yeah.
It's just time to go.
Yeah.
It's your offense is no longer creative. You run the same fucking plays that you ran when it was creative, minus Cam Newton. Pretty big piece of that puzzle.
Yeah.
Your one biggest win that you have is because, Alabama tried to kick a 57-yard field goal and you ran it back for a win.
Yeah.
If they don't kick that, you lose.
You lose, exactly.
You lose.
Yeah. I struggle to wrap my head around that Auburn is that bad.
Well, here's the thing I don't understand. Now, I'm used to it with the SEC as far as Alabama's concerned, but you're seeing it a lot. And, well, I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about the Alabama-Georgia game last night.
God, it was awesome. Go ahead.
The amount of 80-yard touchdowns going down in the SEC this year is fucking crazy.
It is. Yeah. I mean, there's so many big plays.
I mean, it is just like...
Is this the SEC?
Now, I fell asleep at some point in the third quarter or whatever yesterday during that game. But both teams had 80-yard touchdowns. And they weren't even... And I think we can go back in the archives for me last year of like... the one thing I never understood about Alabama, obviously their wide receiver core is always usually the best in the country.
Yeah.
I know Clemson's was on a run, but Alabama... 1, 2, and 3 are always good.
Yeah.
How they throw 70-yard touchdown passes on 8-yard slant routes, it happens all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, it's their scheming and stuff. It's like, how is their number one receiver? They just go, you know what? We're going to put him in the slot and just run a streak. He can beat that safety because for some reason they'll just leave their corner out on our fucking tight end that we put out there.
Yeah.
But they do it all the time.
All the time.
I'm like, what are the other defensive coordinators getting paid down there? Because the defense sucks.
Yeah. Well, that's a trend you're seeing this year, even in the NFL.
Yeah.
For some reason, whatever it was with the limited practices and all this stuff, defense is non-existent this year. I mean, you're not seeing sacks. You're not seeing many turnovers. You're seeing a lot of points being scored.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's for whatever this short season, preseason kind of deal is, defenses are getting hit hard with it.
When you listen to them talk, when they start training camp and stuff, they say it's always the defense is always a couple weeks behind.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about that, it makes sense.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Because the quarterbacks and receivers seem to be together all summer, throwing routes, keeping timing.
Yeah.
Well, defense can't really do that.
No. You don't see that.
So it takes a while for it to kind of catch up to the offenses.
Yeah.
But we can throw that out because Alabama's been doing that to the SEC for the last decade.
Exactly.
They're throwing 10-yard passes.
And they're just breaking off as massive touchdowns.
But, because some of those are great, like Tua, a lot of it is like, Tua connects on an 80-yard touchdown. It's like, no, he threw it 7 yards, and Jerry Jeudy ran it.
Yeah.
Ran it 73 yards.
Ruggs ran a 15-yard post and took it, 90 to the house.
Shit, he's doing the same shit in the NFL. So.
The other game I watched, which was an exciting game, I watched the end of UCF and Memphis because it was one before one of the other games I started. So Memphis is down 2 scores when I started watching with like 4.5 to go. They drive down, they score a touchdown. Okay, they miss the onside kick. UCF recovers. Well, they get a 3-and-out on them. Okay, so Memphis is driving. 4th down, Memphis. The nowadays triple option shovel to the inside on 4th down. Dude takes it 40 yards to the 10-yard, 5-yard line or whatever. 1st down inside the 5. 3 plays later, Memphis scores. All right, there's still a minute and a half left. Memphis is up by 1 at this point. They missed the 2-point conversion. UCF is driving. They get stopped. 45-yard field goal or whatever. Maybe shorter, maybe more, whatever. UCF kicker misses it. Memphis wins. The UCF kicker goes off to the sideline, slams his helmet down, is now being approached by one of his teammates, and they are in a fight on the sidelines because he missed the field goal. And me and my wife were sitting beside each other, and she was like, "You can't say something to him." I said, Molly, I was like, in this moment, whether he did or not, it's not all on him, but it is all on him in that moment. That's just how it goes with kickers.
That's the position.
That is his job. His job is to go in there and make that game-winning kick.
Yeah.
No matter how far, no matter if it's not even in his range.
Right.
People are expecting him to make that kick. tomorrow you're going to look at it and be like, yes, no, it was not all on him because there's been other times where we could have executed and scored.
Right.
Or maybe not had them score 2 touchdowns in 4 minutes. You know,
right.
That could have been something too. But in that exact moment, everybody is now blaming him. Whether that's fair or not, that's just the way it goes. And I'm like, I understand it because I probably been feeling the same way. If I'm the offensive guy and I drove down the field in 45 seconds and I set you up for a field goal that you have made before in your life and you miss it terribly like you did, yeah, I'm probably a little upset too. You know?
They say that's a detriment on offensive play callers too.
Yeah.
For the fact, and I think it was Vinatieri talking about that, because they always have a, pregame go out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm good for 55.
Yeah.
And they'll ask, oh, are you good? All right, good at 55. So at the end of the game, the offensive play callers are just calling plays to get to a 55-yard field goal.
Yeah, that's not good.
And then Vinatieri would go up to him and go, hey, where do you want it? You want it center? Do you want it? I don't care. Don't lose another yard.
Mm-hmm.
Just go.
Yeah.
Well, he's good from 55, but you got to be able to look at the percentage and say, hey, if we get down to the 20,
yeah,
and he's got like a 37-yard field goal,
exactly,
probably easier.
Yeah, I you know what? I never had to worry about that because I don't have anybody that can kick. But it doesn't make any sense. Okay, your kicker, you're Adam Vinatieri, arguably the best kicker ever.
Yeah,
you come up to me and you say, "Hey, I need a 55-yard field goal." Okay, that's the worst possible situation that he has to kick a 55-yarder. I'm still going down the field and trying to score and get as close as I can.
Yeah.
I don't know what. That's just stupid. It's just stupid.
I don't know what happened to Google. You used to be able to just type in like college football and it would list all the school. It would list all the It'd list all the scores, but now it's not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Stupid Google.
What I didn't even see what the score ended up being last night with Alabama and Georgia.
Oh, it was shit.
Obviously, when I fell asleep, it kind of seemed like Alabama was starting to.
I watched to the third quarter was over, and they had scored about 21 unanswered.
Yeah. Get back to that game.
It was 41-24.
Okay. Because that was, it's like, hey, this is okay. Georgia's got a chance, and then that third, it was like, well, I think it started with like a fucking 60-yard touchdown or whatever.
Yeah, it did. Well, and then the next drive, Georgia's driving. They're on the 20, and it ricochets off a receiver's hand and gets picked.
Yeah.
And then on the next drive, I think that he threw a terrible pass, and it was tried to make something out of nothing and got picked or whatever. I tell you what, the kid's not as bad as everybody said he was.
From Alabama?
From Georgia.
Oh, from Georgia?
No, everybody was like, even the announcers pregame were like, "What are you going to do to try to settle this kid?" All that. I'm like, let's just go let him play football.
But you can't. I mean, Gary Danielson was blowing Nick Saban before he went up in the booth.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way. Even you can see that first play of the game with that pick. It's like, that's not a pick. That's not a pick. It's like, what are you seeing on this replay that says that ball was on the ground?
Yeah, I don't exactly
because I watched the same shit you're watching, and I couldn't tell.
No.
You can't tell.
No, and if like
the ball's allowed to touch the ground.
Exactly. And I love what Sterator said. He's like, if you start to say I think, then it's not. It's over because you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's not the rules of replay.
But that's this has always been the case because Alabama always, people will hang with them, and Alabama start making mistakes.
Yeah.
But they never capitalize like that pick. Then 3 plays later, you throw a pick to a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that.
No, not against Alabama.
That's just, you can't.
No.
And I don't even know. That guy didn't even really have to put his hands up. Like, he threw it at the lineman's head.
Yeah.
I don't know how tall that kid is, but apparently not that tall. Because you couldn't even, you could, when they showed it from the camera behind, like, you could just see the ball. You couldn't even see him. And then again, the guy the crossing route he was throwing to was triple covered.
Yeah, there was dudes there.
Like, I don't know what he was doing with that anyways, but
the worst thing, and I'll go back, and I thought this is why Georgia didn't capitalize on their first couple of drives. A lot of people, when you have like a young quarterback, you try to throw lots of swing routes and screens and stuff like that just to get him completions and confidence. but it slows down the rest of your offense.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you run the ball to get that guy calmed down and to get that guy some confidence because you're moving the sticks. I don't know any quarterback that I've ever talked to, even like when you listen to him on Sunday mornings or when they interview him of, oh, if I make completions, I'm good. No, because you're still behind the sticks. If you start getting first downs, that's when the quarterback gets confidence because we're actually moving the ball down the field. They ran the ball all over Alabama in the first quarter, in the first half once they started doing that. I mean, they were gashing them for, it wasn't every play, but it was at least 5-6 yards a pop when they were running the football. And then you could tell that's when everything else started opening up. But the people who are all these screen passes, and I get it, it's completions may help the confidence. It's the same reason why shooters get to the free throw line in basketball. Yeah. They just need to get some free shots up. But it appalls me because that slows down your offense. You're throwing to the outside against an Alabama team who's meeting you there as your guy's catching the ball.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything. If anything, it pisses you off as a quarterback because you're like, what the fuck was that?
And I always hate, because you see that so much. It's like, okay, it's a little swing to the running back. It's like, and that Peyton Manning show, he always would say that of like when he's like, you're swinging it to a running back as part of your run play. Like it's designed to get you 5-6 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're asking the running back to make this spinning, jumping catch of like, no, if you put it on his hip.
Yeah.
Like that's where it's got to be. If it anywhere else than that, you missed him because
if he's got to turn around,
running away from you at a weird angle. And they're like, oh, I can't believe the running back dropped that. It's like, no, the quarterback threw a terrible fucking pass.
Yeah,
terrible.
It's got to be in front of him,
or it's
somewhere.
You got to hit him.
Yeah, and anytime with a bubble or anything like that, you got to hit him in stride, or it's literally that half a second. The defense is there, or the lineman isn't out there enough to get in front of somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's all crazy.
I'll tell you one, it was a play. Now, I think it only went for maybe 12 yards yesterday, but I audibly in my house said, boy, that was a good play design. It was Alabama, ran the guy in motion, and he swung back like they were going to kind of throw that swing screen pass to the wide receiver. And everybody set up for that, but then the number one receiver, they ended up throwing to him on a tunnel screen coming back.
Oh, okay.
So everybody was, guard pulling, guy swings back, defense is crashing to go tackle this guy, and the other receiver comes underneath for a little tunnel screen back onto the inside. I was like, that was a good goddamn play design. Now, it's one of those ones that you just assume Alabama's going to break that for a touch. It only went for 12 yards, but it was like, I mean, it was well designed. Yeah. Everything was like, because everybody bit on, we're going to swing it to this guy that's in motion.
Yeah.
And it just came underneath of like, damn. I don't think enough people do that. They throw all those swings and stuff, but there's never anything
going back up. Yeah.
Anything off of it.
Mm-hmm. That's, but I enjoyed, like, I literally was like, third quarter, Alabama had scored to take the lead, and I'm thinking, now this is a ball game. Georgia's going to come back and do something. But in that moment, I was like, okay, the SEC is definitely getting at least two teams in the playoffs, because everything else I've seen, there's not another person, there's not two more teams that are better than these two teams right now.
Right. And Georgia's nowhere near good enough.
No, they're not.
As Alabama, because Alabama's not playing well at all.
No, but they're better than everybody else that's playing right now, other than Clemson.
Clemson,
that's the only one that is not better. I mean, that's how bad football is right now.
Right.
Georgia is a solid number 3.
Absolutely.
I mean, they are right there at number 3.
When you get beat like that, where they dropped 6.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
Where can you put them?
Yeah, I'm not putting them. They're still better than fucking Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't give a shit at all.
Yeah.
They're better than Notre Dame.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to do that, because here's another one. Big Ten, there's no fucking way they get all their games in.
No way. You have 8 games in 8 weeks. They
set it up to fail. Here's one that I seen yesterday. I can't remember who it was. It was a network that put out their top 5 QBs to be upcoming draft QBs. Like Justin Fields listed like 4th behind the kid from Florida.
Oh, Jesus.
Like Justin Fields and the kid from North Dakota was listed 5th.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you get the what they say are the top 3 quarterbacks with Trevor Lawrence. And you got like 2 guys that nobody's heard of. One of them's a quarterback at Florida.
Yeah.
Who sucks.
Yeah, he doesn't suck. Their offense is way better than it has been.
Yeah.
Their defense is bad.
Really? This guy?
Yeah, he's not better in Fields.
No
way he's better in Fields.
I think people forget of, like, he threw 2 interceptions last year, and one of them was at, just a bad one that ended their season. And if it wasn't for Joe Burrow, Justin Fields wins the Heisman.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw 40 touchdowns and 1 interception like in the regular season.
Exactly.
Like, we think this guy that's first year starting from. So I think, is he the one that
he transferred in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That never started.
Yeah,
never
before.
started. Yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah. He's not better than him. And that Trey Lance from South Dakota State or whatever, fuck off.
North Dakota.
Whatever the fuck it is. That's how much I don't care about him. He's not.
I don't know what we're getting here.
That's some static.
Just started getting some static.
Yeah.
There it goes.
But he's not top 5. Maybe he be the 5th. I'll take the dude from A&M and Florida over him because it's fucking North Dakota State. Sorry, I'm not taking him. He can't throw the fucking ball. Ever watched his highlights?
No, I haven't. Why? Well, because they only played that one. They played Jackson State this year. He played like shit.
Yeah, I was like last year's stat. Like he is. I
don't know what the hell we got static going on.
I don't know.
I mean, it'll come out in post, but
he'll
something's not plugging in properly.
He's the Kmart version of Lamar Jackson. And he can't throw. He's a worse thrower than Lamar Jackson was in college.
Yeah.
And he's not he's not as good as runner either. That's why I call him the Kmart version.
Well, there's another one too. Lamar Jackson's a pretty good thrower in college.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Ball. He could throw a deep ball. Everything else was kind of iffy, which is why he got knocked into the pros.
Right.
But yeah, he's not a very good thrower. And that's what was like a lot of the people on ESPN are talking about. They're like, yeah, his throwing needs to improve
when it's
more.
And it's a tough time now that you're seeing how Carson Wentz is going this year. Like, ugh.
Yeah, Carson Wentz was different. Only the fact that he's the prototypical size and of the NFL stature.
Carson Wentz he's a quarterback.
Exactly,
he's a player. Just not going well this year.
No, it's not. It doesn't help where half your roster's hurt too. Your offense is always hurt.
How does that happen to teams where it's just like every year? All right, here's our 53 man. We know by week 6, half of them will be injured.
It's always Philly.
Every year.
It's always like Philly hasn't had their whole receiving core in 2 years because they have Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson and another guy. They have Greg Ward, the quarterback at Houston a few years ago, as their number 1 receiver right now.
You know what? The funny thing is because with Aguilar being in Las Vegas now, it was like, here's one just to piss Philly fans off more.
Mm-hmm.
Is that there's one receiver with at least 10 catches or whatever that's quarterback is at a perfect 158.3 or whatever the fuck the perfect QB rating while throwing to him.
Yeah.
And it's
Aguilar.
And they're like, okay, well, you dropped everything here in Philly.
I was going to say.
Now you catch everything from Derek Carr.
Yeah. It went just to a bad ball.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even that, I mean, you look at their Super Bowl, they were decimated with injuries. Obviously, you're in your backup quarterback. The whole team was still injured.
Yeah.
It's not like they were healthy coming into that game.
The only thing that was healthy was their defense.
Yeah.
All their defense was healthy. I mean, like Alshon Jeffrey, I don't know, played the second half.
I don't think so.
They didn't have any running backs. You ran Corey Clement, who was like the 3rd string.
Yeah, that's just the way.
Yeah, and you were on Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Huh? Big Dick Nick?
Big Dick Nick.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I heard somebody the other day say they wanted to change it to Big Pole Foles.
Nice.
Like, hey, that works too.
I like that one too. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, my college football experience yesterday, it had some emotional roller coasters of anger and oh, okay, that's nice, and, all this stuff.
I think the thing that it has proven is you need the Big Ten 100%.
I think you do too. More of just talking points.
Yeah, talking points, and mainly because you forget when you don't have all the conferences going, and the Pac-12, nobody watched that anyways. But throw the Big Ten in there. You forget how many shitty games there are every week because at least one of the conferences have a marquee game going on. Mm-hmm. So, like, this week it was, hey, Alabama, Georgia. Mm-hmm. All right, boom. Yeah. But the week before is like nobody's playing anybody.
Yeah.
But if the Big Ten was playing, it would have been, Ohio State, Michigan State. It would have been something to be like, okay, well, it's game.
Mm-hmm. It's game to watch. Yeah, not this horse shit from last week.
Because there's been a few weeks in a row where it's like, Clemson's got.
Oh, my God.
Georgia Tech's up and coming, and that guy's doing a great job recruiting. He really is at Georgia Tech. He's getting some players. But some of them decommitted yesterday going, oh, we got to play this team?
This team who, once this guy leaves...
They'll have somebody else.
Oh, you didn't know?
I don't know who they signed.
Oh, it's like the number one dual threat in America coming in next year.
Well, but it's the same thing as like, well, it's a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback. They got Trevor Lawrence. Oh, really?
Oh, really? Because Deshaun Watson's
doing just fucking fine.
Once in a lifetime. Do you guys remember Kelly Bryant, who took them to a national championship game? And they were like, fuck you. This guy's better. Yeah. Taj Boyd won a few bowl games with Dabo. I mean,
like they said, wow, once he's out of there, it's like, no, I'm sure they have somebody else. Like, oh, wow, once the receivers are gone for him, what's he going to do? No, they have a whole bunch more.
Yeah, they have a lot more. Yeah,
that are going to be fine.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, I still love Travis Etienne.
Yeah,
he's so good. The fact that he stayed was.
I mean, I can't imagine what he was like in the summertime with all this shit going on. Like,
oh fuck, I fucked up.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I fucked up.
Second round probably.
No,
when you got a first round.
Well, yeah, he would have been taken by the Chiefs more than Allaire. My opinion.
Well, okay, yeah, but like 32nd.
Yes,
so, not
top tier money.
Yeah, that's.
But you imagine him on that Chiefs team? Huh. He's more of a dynamic running back than Allaire is.
Absolutely,
my opinion.
He probably fits that scheme. Better. Which Allaire he's okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, he did well in college.
Yeah,
but it was
for the year.
But it was kind of down that stretch of he's kind of injured, but he's fighting through it and he's doing this and he ran that guy over. Of like, I'll go out on a limb and say that of like I think they messed up with Allaire and I think they should have taken J.K. Dobbins. I think he fit that mold of that offense better.
Yeah.
And that proves that Allaire isn't exactly everything they needed because they signed Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you look at the ETN as far as catching, running, in between the tackles, outside, now he's not Le'Veon Bell, but he's more in that prototype of Bell because that's what Bell does. Mm-hmm. Be interesting to see how good he is.
Yeah, I hope he is.
It's been a couple years.
I don't hope he is because I'm a Broncos fan, so I don't want them to be any better than they already are. But I
mean, how do they just keep signing people?
I don't know where the fuck that well of money is.
Now, granted, this was vet men. Oh, it was like $1 million because New York's got to pick the rest up. Mm-hmm. But
and it's only like
it's
this
1 year.
It's this year, and he'll go someplace else.
He gets $1 million, and then there's another $1 million as far as because his salary was $6 million this year. Kansas City picks up $1 million. The Jets got to pay $5 million.
I saw this meme and it cracked my ass.
Is it the Impractical Jokers one? Okay,
no, it's not. It was the scene of Happy Gilmore where he goes and apologizes to Chubbs.
Yeah,
I'm the best, or you're the best, and I'm the worst. And his face, Le'Veon Bell's face, is Adam Sandler, and it's Mike Tomlin as Chubbs. It's like the Steelers' return is upon us, or something like that. It's like you're the best, and I'm the worst. I'm the dumbest, and you're the smartest, and all this shit. Crack me up.
The one I seen was, have you seen the ones floating around where it's like the Impractical Jokers backstage when they're doing, they do the ones where they say this, and you have to say it.
Yeah.
And it was a picture of them, laughing in the background, and it's like the say this moment, and the other picture was the Jets GM, and it's Impractical Jokers laughing, going, okay, now say cut Le'Veon Bell and stick with Adam Gase. And that's them laughing.
That's funny. That's funny. Dan Quinn, another coach on the carousel, is down, which I assumed
that was coming.
He should have been fired before the season.
Well, he didn't get fired last year because he shit-canned his whole staff in the last and it was basically, he was told, hey, you go to the Super Bowl or you're fired.
Pretty much.
That was,
pretty much. He knew he was done.
Yeah.
After all of our head coaching talk a few weeks ago, if I am Bieniemy, Eric Bieniemy, they've said that Deshaun Watson is pushing for him to come to Houston. If you're a first, now they can get a head coach that isn't a first year head coach,
right?
But if you're a first year head coach, for sure don't go to Houston.
No,
there is no draft picks. There's no money. You're going to have to cut almost everybody on your team that's making over a certain amount of money.
Yeah,
and there's no future right now there until and they should have just kept Bill O'Brien for 2 years and then fired him, let him reap all the things that he did.
Yeah.
But if I'm Bieniemy, the Falcons' job is really looking fine to me.
Yeah, because you can't move on from Matt Ryan.
No.
I think because he's got $100 million still on the table.
Yeah, somebody would have to trade for him.
It's something like if he plays next year and you cut him the year after. So if you cut him in 2022-3 season, it's only a $20 million cap hit.
Yeah,
which means he's your quarterback.
Yeah,
nobody's trading for that.
No,
so, but you're gonna get a top 5 pick. You can draft one.
Yeah.
And sit him.
You're gonna have to sit him.
But I started thinking about this because we talked about this last time, and then obviously Quinn gets fired. They're like, well, with what the pieces you got, okay, now stepping back and taking a look, their defense is awful.
Yes,
like it's one of the worst.
It is atrocious.
I mean, it's one of the worst.
It's atrocious.
Hey, you got Julio and what's his name?
Calvin Ridley. Yeah, Todd Gurley.
That's great. Yeah, but hold on though.
Oh, okay.
Don't go too far.
Sorry.
You have these 2 top flight receivers that can never play.
Yeah, they're
always injured.
Yeah.
When you start peeling it back, it's like, well, it's not a great job, but it's one of 32 jobs.
Yes.
That's why somebody keeps taking the Jets job.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's, in the Jacksonville job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like when they say it's just hot. Oh, you got all this. Like, well, yeah, Jones never plays. When's the last time he made it through a season where he played every game?
I don't know. But Jones doesn't play because they practice him all week.
Yeah.
It's Julio Jones.
He doesn't need to practice.
Doesn't need to fucking practice.
He can run routes to keep the timing down.
That's pretty much it, but go rest. Go rest.
Well, I think Tennessee kind of showed you something on this practice thing is like a lot of guys are beating the shit out of their guys during the week because it's just that old school coach of like, hey, man, they didn't practice for like 2 weeks and they beat the fuck out of the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It's a big question. A lot of, I seen it on Twitter, a lot of older NFL players going, so is this showing that practice isn't necessary? That spending a lot of time really working on film and stuff is kind of where it's at? That we don't need to practice tackling all the time because it's the NFL.
And we should know how to fucking tackle? Yeah.
Because it is shocking how, this day and age that there's still those 80s and 90s coaches are like, we're going to beat this. We're going to be the toughest team. And that means going ones-on-ones, full pads, beat the shit out of it. Then we're going to have you run gassers.
Nope.
They're trying to get healthy by Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. They just get the shit knocked out of them on Sunday. They don't need to get the shit knocked out of them during the week.
That's always the interesting thing. But I just keep thinking, with Trevor Lawrence, it's a no-doubter. And it's came out, the rumor mill is coming out of something in the front office from the Jets that it is true. They are in no way trying to win any games this year. That they are now tough to do because the players are going to play because they got to put tape out because they're trying to keep jobs.
Another team, yes.
Yeah, trying to keep, trying to keep getting paid. But the front office, if that leaks out of the front office that they are not trying to win games, the NFL get that under fucking control.
Yeah, no shit.
Because that's one of those ones, if that comes out and that's true, you need to sell that franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Like the NFL needs to step in and go, hey, we're not getting into this shit like the 76ers were doing for 5 years trying to lose every,
Yeah, not that, no.
That's not our league. We're not doing that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're Trevor Lawrence, man, you have to kind of Eli Manning it, don't you?
If I'm drafted by the Jets, I'm bitching a fucking fit. That way I don't have to go there.
Yeah.
I mean, Eli Manning did it. Eli Manning did it. John Elway did it. John Elway was drafted by the Colts.
The only thing is, social media did not exist back then.
Exactly, so he didn't look like a little bitch.
Yeah.
Eli Manning did it. John Elway did it. Jamarcus Russell just said, fuck you, I'm not showing up.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the bottom line. People want to say that.
And that was still in holdout territory, too, which does not exist anymore.
No. I'm not going to the Jets. Sorry.
Because Darnold, I mean,
he's not bad.
He's not a bad quarterback.
He's not bad.
And they have ruined his career.
Yes.
They have 100% ruined his career.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, if I'm Trevor Lawrence, that's what I look at as Sam Darnold going. Because I was listening to, one of those former players, quarterback, the guru kind of guys now. They were talking about Herbert and his arm and everything like that. And they said they work out because it was Darnold from Cal.
So, yeah, Southern Cal.
People forget how big an arm and the kind of, I hate the word when they say that the arm talent that Sam Darnold has.
Yeah.
That it's shockingly that he makes all the throws and he can flip it 70 yards down the field. But you just look at what they've done to him.
Yeah.
And if you're Trevor Lawrence, you have to go, you're drafting me, but that coach, not happening.
Yeah.
And I assume that's the thought, because that's what happens anytime you take that guy, the Colts. When they take Andrew Luck, Bill Polian was the GM of the most successful decade of winningest football.
Mm-hmm.
They get Andrew Luck, they shit-canned everybody.
Yep.
Including you.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. And Bill Polian is a genius.
Yeah. So that would be his thing of, like, as Adam Gase saying, fuck me here.
No, he's not. He's for sure done.
I think if that's where I think the Bieniemy thing comes in, is the New York Jets job. If they have the number one and Trevor Lawrence is their guy, I'm going there because now you have that perfect storm of, I've got 5 years to make something happen, because it takes 4 to 5 years for a quarterback to develop.
Yep.
So I think that's his best spot. Now, granted, it's going to the Jets.
He's going to the Jets.
But
and they're not. I 100% agree with you. If Trevor Lawrence is their guy, Bieniemy, that's probably the better option for him, because it all starts with the quarterback. And if you have somebody like Matt Ryan, it's probably towards the end of his career, it's probably not the spot you want to go, because that's not how you build up as the new coach.
Right.
Because he's not all world. It's not LaFleur taking over and having Aaron Rodgers. It's right. It's not that situation. So you want a new guy in there. So I get it. Him.
The thing on the Atlanta thing is, let's just say he took the Atlanta job, and where they draft, say it fell this route. Worst case scenario for him taking that job is if it falls the route where they get Justin Fields. One, he's from fucking Atlanta.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan's been looking like garbage for a while.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to sit him and develop, you can't do it.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. They're never going to let you do that.
No. And I mean, let's just say he does take the Atlanta job, I'd probably go ahead and take the cap hit now. And
the cap hit's like $100 million.
Okay, then he's the backup. Then he's the backup.
Can't do that.
Then my backup is a $100 million quarterback.
I want to say, like, if you would cut him, I honestly I think the cap hit is like $80 million. It's something. It's so bad that it's not even on the table.
Gotcha.
I mean, to do.
But that's, I mean, if that's the situation, then I'm just going to, he's my backup. You know what I mean?
And you can do that because you got a guy on a rookie deal that's not making any money. So,
and the only reason I don't like the Jets job is because now, where you come out and say that they're actively not trying to win, which I agree with you that that's probably true. because they're shopping everybody.
Yeah.
Their best receiver, Jamison Crowder, being shopped.
Yep.
Quinnen Williams, 2 years ago, number one pick, or their number one pick, is being shopped. Anybody that has any kind of talent on that team is now being trade bait.
And when has that ever worked?
Never.
The only thing, the anomaly of Andrew Luck is because Peyton Manning had a broken fucking neck.
Yeah.
So they went 2-14.
Uh-huh.
And Andrew Luck happened to be there.
Yeah.
They were, the year before, they won like fucking 12 games.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not, it's like, well, see what the Colts did, and then they got Andrew Luck. But no. Different situation. A Hall of Fame quarterback injured, couldn't throw a football.
Yeah. Wasn't sure if he was going to throw a football again. 7
of those losses were less than a touchdown game, too.
Uh-huh.
So that goes to tell you how good they were.
Yeah.
Now, they went 2-14. But they were still a good team. Mm-hmm. They still had like Dwight Freeney and
exactly. Robert Mathis and they still had Reggie Wayne and all those guys. Yeah,
it's not the same situation.
No,
and I did like my favorite thing from this week was the interview talking with the offensive coordinator for the Jets. Did you see that?
No.
It came out.
They have an offensive coordinator?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to fill the position.
I guess.
I mean.
Yeah.
It came out that there was a talk between the coordinators and Gase. And at the end of the talk, and the way this was written was perfect. At the end of the talk, the coordinators who work for Gase came to the conclusion that Gase was still the best person to call the plays. And there's just the way they worded it, like, yeah, the guys that work for him said, no, you're the best.
You're the best. Yeah.
What the fuck are they? Hey, man, you're a shit at play calling.
You're fired.
You're still running Peyton Manning's offense, and that's not Peyton Manning. And Peyton Manning couldn't run. Peyton Manning's offense probably wouldn't work right now if Peyton Manning was in his prime, because it's just games moved on. So, yeah, it's like, well, what do you guys think? I mean, I know, I can fire you at any time.
Yeah,
what do you think? Yeah, you're the best. I'm the best. They say I'm the best coach that's ever been in the NFL is what these guys that require my approval for a paycheck say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what's happening in New York.
New York is just a shit show right now. Nobody has a win in New York.
The two worst teams are both the New York teams on whatever, the power rankings are what they are. But you could agree that 31 and 32 are probably the New York teams.
and then Atlanta's 29.
The funny thing was I don't even remember. What is it? Is it MetLife Stadium?
Yeah.
The only football team with wins in MetLife Stadium in the last year is the fucking XFL team with 2.
Yeah. That's funny.
That's the only football team from New York that has any wins.
Oh my God. Did you talking about that? Shit, I forgot. It just popped in my head and I lost it.
That sucks.
Okay, moving on to a different topic of suckery. So is Dwayne Haskins just a dumb idiot or what?
Here's okay. One, sorry people, we've been getting some static through our headphones. I don't know what's going on here, but we'll get that summed up. But yeah, it's like when you tilt it the one way. I don't know if I'm not making good connection. Could be that. What are we? Last week for one, hard as shit, scary as fuck to watch Alex Smith play football.
Yeah,
because I watched that project whatever documentary thing on that of like no, and then
Aaron
Donald just jumps on his fucking back. I'm like, oh my God,
it's gonna snap. It's gonna snap.
God. But good for him for making that comeback.
Yeah.
Secondly, it pointed out that Dwayne Haskins wasn't the problem because your offense still sucks.
Yes, exactly. That was my next take.
Third, I think that Dwayne Haskins, it's the way it's coming out, as I'm not trusting anything that comes out of Washington.
I agree with that.
I'm going to tell you what, I'm a big Ron Rivera fan, and I think you know this.
Yeah.
I'm starting to lose a little bit for him because it seems like the ship that he's running
it's not his ship.
No.
It seems like everything's coming from the top.
No, but not, because Dan Snyder is a Dwayne Haskins guy.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it's Ron Rivera is doing everything opposite of what he normally does. Like, you're just saying shit that, like,
yeah.
Okay, you change quarterbacks. You take your number one pick of a year ago and you move fucking third string to the point where in practice
he's not even getting reps.
He wasn't getting the practice squad quarterback was getting reps and Dwayne Haskins wasn't getting reps.
Yeah, he was just sitting there watching.
And then he comes out and it's like, oh no, we're not stopping his development. It's like, well, if you're not getting reps then you are. I mean, so like he's done in Washington.
Uh-huh.
But the whole way Rivera's handling the whole thing, it's very not like him.
No, it's not.
Because he's usually very upfront and very, it's, hey man, I don't know what's going on.
It's
something popping in your head there?
Yeah, go. Just keep going.
Okay. But now, I did hear something on the Haskins side of this. And here's the other thing. They put a captain tag on his fucking chest.
Yeah, exactly.
That comes from, they say, well, it's player voted. Well, if it's player voted, meant he was doing all the right things.
Uh-huh.
And at the second point in time, you can talk to anybody in the NFL that those captain things, okay, it's secret ballot. Who the fucking coaches want to be the captain are the captains.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave him the C.
Yeah.
They made that decision.
Yeah.
So I don't know what changed because it hadn't been his play.
Uh-huh.
Because he hadn't been missing that much, and the offense is terrible.
It's garbage.
It's just terrible. But here's the thing that I was listening to that Michael Lombardi at the whatever they do for the draft thing where they bring people in, getting draft stuff like that. And this was just his thing with Dwayne Haskins. He says, I was giving my presentation, all the people, I don't know how many, 100 or 200 people that they invite to something like that. Dwayne Haskins was an hour late to the presentation.
Gotcha.
Then he said he came up to me and set up a meeting for the next day to go over what it would take him working on getting into the NFL and stuff like that. Sets the meeting, and he fucking no-showed him.
Oh.
He said, so that's my only interaction with Dwayne Haskins. And it seems like if you piece together the whole Washington team, it kind of seems like that's kind of the deal of like if you're more, do you want to be a top flight quarterback or do you just want to be a guy that's an NFL quarterback that you can tell people you're an NFL quarterback?
Yeah.
Because it seems like that might be the thing.
Yeah.
And maybe he doesn't really want to be a quarterback, but the NFL thing, the money's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of what it's seeming that's what it is. That he's kind of a me first kind of guy.
Yeah, I can almost get behind that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can definitely tell that he's flaky anyway.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell it by his commitment. He was all in on Maryland.
Yep.
Ohio State throws him a letter the very last moment, and he's okay. Yeah, no, I'm going to Ohio State. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'll let that slide because they always have that video of when he was a kid that he was an Ohio State fan and I'm going to play here. So that's you can't take that out because it's Maryland and it's Ohio State. And you get an offer from Ohio State. Get the fuck out, man.
Yeah.
Here's where I get on it of Gruden didn't want him. Hated it. Hated the whole thing. Set him up for failure at the beginning in the way they did that. But, Gruden just was proving a point.
Yes.
And then the whole Rivera thing, he doesn't want him, which I understand that too. That's the NFL. We didn't draft you. You mean nothing to us.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
But in this whole thing, how this is all went with Dwayne Haskins, Urban Meyer is shockingly quiet on it.
Yeah, I know.
Not saying a fucking word.
Yeah.
That's what, because he usually comes out and says he sticks up for all his, but he still sticks up for Tim Tebow.
Exactly.
But the fact that all this is going down, and for a week it was frontline or front page news.
Yep.
And Urban Meyer said nothing.
Yeah. So there's some truth there.
So there's something
there's
there.
There's some truth there that he's
and in college
selfish and
he's super talented. You can get by with that in college. Everybody in the NFL is super talented because it's the NFL.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm interested to kind of look at the Seattle Seahawk kind of deal going on right now, of how if they are playing average on offense, they may have no wins.
Yeah.
Because their defense is so fucking bad.
Terrible.
I mean, and this kind of comes back into my coaching carousel kind of deal is, okay, so Russell Wilson is playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
I mean, just playing ridiculous football right now, and I know you love to see that.
Yep.
So,
big fan.
It hurts to laugh.
What's his nickname?
I don't know. Russ?
No, it's something like Mr. Unstoppable or some shit like that.
His Twitter handle is Danger Russ. Get it?
Yeah. I'll give him credit for that because
funny.
That one's kind of good.
That's good.
That one's good.
But anyway, so you got this offense just playing ridiculous, and you got this defense giving up about as many points as they're scoring.
Right.
They're getting about 1 to 2 stops a game and just letting the offense take care of it. There's going to be a time, because it happens at every moment, and anybody who's ever played a sport ever, where your offense doesn't click.
Yeah.
Is that the falling out point?
Yes. Here's one, not even that. DK Metcalf gets a sore hammy for a 3-week span.
Yeah.
Now you got a problem. Now you got a problem.
That's that's my thing. My coaching carousel thing has nothing to do with Pete Carroll, but
should, and I'll make this point in a little bit after you're done.
Okay. So Dan Quinn started the Legion of Boom.
Yes.
Is that something where he has to take a couple years to go back to being a DC before he gets another head coaching?
100% has to. And everybody in the league loves Dan Quinn.
Yes.
Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it ended.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the way it goes.
That's my assumption too. It's very rare where that doesn't happen unless unless you went out on your own terms.
Yeah.
It seems like that's the route that has to be done.
And it's that of like you've went to a total shit show 3 years after you lost a 25-point lead in the second half of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're going to need to go back to your roots on this one. Yeah, when he was a great defensive coordinator in Seattle. I mean, him and Pete Carroll started the run of Seattle defense. So that's my coaching carousel kind of thing, because obviously Ray Norton Jr., whatever his name is not getting the job done defensively.
But I got something to say on that.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it's a Pete Carroll problem.
Okay.
And you're noticing it because it's also a Dan Quinn problem.
Okay.
Legion of Boom defense.
Yeah.
That defense doesn't work in this NFL now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cover 3 defense.
Mm-hmm.
That does not work in the NFL anymore.
Yeah.
You take that Legion of Boom defense that they had and put it in this NFL right now, doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Because you know who they're going to expose? Richard Sherman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now think about that. He's a Hall of Fame defensive back.
Yeah.
He would get exposed with that defense right now.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you. No, I'm agreeing with you.
So I think it's because even though, Pete Carroll still kind of runs the defense there, and they're still doing the cover 3 look. That's why you see, and it's shocked because it happened once this year of who just put up the big fight with Seattle.
The Vikings this past week.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday night
Vikings.
Game. Yeah.
And I think the week before, did the Vikings play the
Falcons?
The Falcons, or do they play them this week?
They play them this week.
This week. So you're going to see their offense do a lot better this week. And it was somebody the week before, but it worked out to where they played the Falcons and the Seahawks back-to-back weeks.
Oh, okay.
And the second week was maybe against the Seahawks, and their offense was clicking.
Because
they said it's the same defense, cover 3 defense. So basically, the next week's game plan, they just ripped Falcons off the cover and put Seahawks on it. Here's the game plan.
Yeah.
That's what that there's really no change. There's really not much for now.
Yeah.
I mean, the Falcons have no players.
Yeah.
I mean, for one thing.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, I'm just talking about the Legion of Boom coverage wise. If you don't change up your coverage and disguise it, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't work. But they have no pass rush anymore.
None.
I mean, those years with Bruce Irvin and Cliff Averill and Michael Bennett and all those guys, there's non-existent pass rush at all. At all.
Yeah.
And it's part of the reason why the Legion of Boom was so good, because pass rush and coverage go hand in hand. So when that guy's got all back,
kind of the whole deal.
Exactly. When he's got all the time to throw, you're getting exposed back there. So they got to figure some shit out like that. And now they're having to blitz, and Seattle's not a blitzing team.
Well, and you're seeing that in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
You've lost all your. Hey, we get these 4 guys that get after the quarterback, and we never have to blitz because they just get there.
2 of them are gone.
And now all of a sudden, you start getting lit up.
Yeah, which
I mean, that's just the way it is.
It's a great formula if you can get pressure with your front 4, but you should probably prepare. I mean,
right.
I understand it when you got guys that are that good, you just focus on what everybody else is good at. I get that, but you got to prepare for shit like that because injuries happen all the fucking time.
Well, here's one just on that of the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Their defensive secondary is not great.
No.
It's not good at all.
No.
But Myles Garrett's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Which makes their defensive backfield
better.
Good.
Hell,
but
you mean Olivier Vernon isn't bad.
Yeah.
And he's old.
If you can chip Myles Garrett and keep him out of the backfield, that's why, today the Steelers probably going to throw for a whole bunch of yards.
Yeah.
Because I think they can get that figured out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just the way it is.
My favorite player on the Browns, his name, it's one of my favorite names in the NFL now, is Larry Ogunjobi.
No,
it's such a fun name to say. Yeah. He's not bad either. He plays defensive tackle.
What was the guy who used to be the defensive coordinator for Detroit?
Offensive coordinator. Jim Bob Cooter.
That's the greatest name ever.
It really is. He got he got a job with that name.
Yeah.
Like not even like a respectful job. He didn't not like bagging groceries.
Jim Bob Cooter.
God.
Here's one for the Detroit thing. And you're seeing an uptick with Detroit fans because obviously it's Detroit.
Yeah.
And Matt Patricia ran out of people to point fingers at and now has to realize that maybe he's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact of, we had a lot of rebuilding to do. Now they went 9-7 the year before you got there.
Yeah.
So you were there to get them to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. And you didn't. But now you're seeing an uptick in fans, and that is kind of on Twitter and stuff like that, of Lions fans kind of begging for Matthew Stafford to be traded. Yeah.
Just because.
Get him out. Get him out of here.
Let's get it. This kid has been through he broke his fucking back last year.
Yeah.
He deserves better. So when your fan base is saying, hey, can you guys trade our quarterback to a team where he has a chance to win just because we feel like after a decade of this, he deserves, or 12 years, he deserves it.
Yeah, no shit.
So that says everything you need to know about your team.
Yeah.
That they're asking for your top 5 quarterback. And everybody forgets about him because he's in Detroit.
Exactly. He's not bad.
But he's a good quarterback.
I like Stafford. I like him coming out of Georgia.
Now, the one thing I do like is all the Indianapolis Colts fans freaking out about Phillip Rivers.
No, fuck him. He sucks. Get rid of him.
But they're going, man, he's just throwing these interceptions. Like, that's what he does.
Exactly.
Like, did you guys not watch any other football besides Colts football? Because, so I looked this up. He has 407 career touchdowns.
Okay.
He's like 203 interceptions.
Yeah.
So every 2 touchdowns he throws, he throws a pick. That's who you signed up for. He's only had one in the last decade. I think he's only had 1 year, maybe 2, where he didn't throw double-digit interceptions, and they were like 9.
Yeah.
But it's like 14, 16, 12, 17.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it's that offense they were running. Well, you run the same offense in Indianapolis. That's why you got him, because he wouldn't have to learn the offense. And it's like, he's just not doing what... No,
he sucks.
He's doing exactly what Phillip Rivers does.
Yeah.
He'll throw for 400 yards with 3 interceptions.
Exactly.
You remember that when... this was like 5 years ago. Because back in my era where I had a 2-3 year run where I was in fantasy football.
Okay.
where Phillip Rivers was the guy you wanted.
Oh yeah, because he threw all these yards
for he went 3 weeks in a row with 450 yards and 4 touchdowns, but he also threw in those 3 games threw 9 interceptions.
Yeah.
But in fantasy, that's fantastic because the interceptions don't hurt you that much. But that's what he does.
Yeah. I think Greeny said the Colts need to trade for Matt Ryan right now.
100%.
Yeah.
You know how good they would be if they did that?
Imagine,
their defense is good.
Do you imagine this defense with fucking Andrew Luck?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. They would be running through people.
Yeah.
Running through people. And, oh, my God. I hate fucking Phillip Rivers. So if he goes rots in a sack. But
which is a weird thing, too, because him and Russell Wilson might be described as the 2 nicest guys in the NFL that everybody loves. And I hate Russell Wilson, and you hate Phillip Rivers.
I fucking hate him.
The guy is won't even curse.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person he is.
Yeah,
exactly. Fuck him.
Fuck him, piece of shit. Yeah, but can you imagine how good they would be? Because Matt Ryan, I know you said earlier in the season about his noodle arm. He's fucking slinging it so far this year.
Matt Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's thrown for 400 yards for 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
You just talked about Phillip Rivers there for 400 yards.
In fantasy football, that meant something. It didn't mean anything. I mean, during that fucking run, the Chargers were still 7-9.
Yeah, I get that. But still, you quarterback throws 400 yards. It's not bad.
Yeah.
You're really seeing the Saints with Drew Brees' noodle arm.
Yeah.
You're really seeing that take a toll on him.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's and then the whole Michael Thomas thing. What the fuck is that about?
Now he's asking out?
Yeah.
He's asking to get out of New Orleans?
Well, here's
he beats the
breakdown
shit out of a player?
It turned out, it was a fight. Happens in practice.
All the time.
Every week.
Yeah.
Every week, NFL guys get in fights. And, like you said, beat the shit out of a guy. No, he punched him.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy had his helmet on. He punched his helmet.
Yeah.
So it's not like he actually hit the fucking guy.
I know.
But then it came out that he wasn't suspended, that they actually just fined him a game check and he wasn't healthy enough to go that week, is what they said. But they started laying out terminology of we're laying the groundwork that we can cut you and not have to pay you your guaranteed money.
Yeah.
That's when Sean Payton was talking last week, everything he said was falling into that conduct detrimental to the team category of looks like it's not going to work out with Drew Brees. You did this, we say this, we can cut you and keep your money. That's what's going to happen.
I can see it.
And that's the one thing too that they talk about too is Sean Payton, douchebag coach.
Yeah.
They love him. He's a fun guy, but they said
he's probably a prick.
He's a prick.
He's probably a prick. He has that look to him.
But yeah, that whole Michael Thomas thing of
wild.
It comes out that he's probably an asshole too, but
oh yeah.
He seems like he would be.
Well, he seems like he would be by the comments on the top 100 stuff last year.
Yeah. He's been in the league 3 years.
Years, exactly. You haven't done shit. You haven't even won a Super Bowl. You haven't even won a playoff game.
You set records, but a lot of guys set first 3 year records. We're talking about guys that have played. You want to be above Randy Moss? I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. He did it for a long time.
Yeah. He may be one of the best ever. Yeah. I don't know where he gets that entitlement from or anything like that, but yeah, he's got a long way to go before he starts.
It's a little different when you look at guys like that, like Randy Moss, of who was throwing him the ball. You came in with Drew Brees into a thing where it's hey, we throw the ball 50 times a game.
Yeah.
So you're going to get 15 targets a game.
Mm-hmm.
Little different situation.
Little different than Dante Culpepper throwing it to you deep.
Or Julio Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been in the league. He's a monster, but you really start looking at his stat line, it's not anything great because, they had the 1 year on the Super Bowl run, but for the most part, they've been a 500 team since he's been in the league.
Yeah,
so it hadn't been anything, big time.
No, it's the same way with, DeAndre Hopkins. If Deshaun Watson was throwing him the ball the whole fucking career, it probably looks a little differently.
100% does.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one thing that happened last week that we haven't talked about yet.
Okay.
Dak.
Yeah. How
fucking sad was that?
Super fucking sad. the guy seems like a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Seems like a great dude. Says all the right things. He could have absolutely imploded on the Cowboys with all the money talk, all this stuff. He doesn't. He handles it very well. And then you see the injury, and it just
was horrific.
And it was disgusting.
Horrific injury.
It was awful. Just terrible.
Now you get all this. People are like, well, you should have signed that. You want more money? You're just playing a game. Should have signed that. You signed the franchise tag for $32 million. That's enough. It's like, yeah, but what if he can never play again now?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, granted, $32 million, whole lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he was trying to sign a long-term contract for when this happens.
Yeah.
Now, granted, everybody that came out with, he already had, he had successful surgery that night. They said it's a pain in the ass, but you're going to be fine. It's fine.
A dislocated ankle is actually sometimes it's better than the actual break.
He broke it also.
Yes, yeah. I did see that too. But I'm saying the dislocation part of it is sometimes better.
Right. But that all things say he's going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, look at Paul George, Gordon Hayward, all those guys had the same thing.
Yeah. So he's going to end up being fine. It just sucks that this is the way it goes. And good luck, NFL owners, when shit like this happens, trying to get somebody franchise tag that you can't work a deal out with, because they might just go, no.
Nope. I'm going. Yeah, exactly. Dak on a different team next year?
Well, here's the thing. I was listening to, he's Andrew Brandt. He used to be the contract guy for the Packers.
Yeah, I know the name. I don't know him personally, but
he was saying that it's probably going to work out okay for Dak getting his money, because they still have the option that they can still franchise him again next year, which is probably what's going to end up happening.
Yeah,
because you're going to have to see him play.
Yeah,
but his franchise tag next year is going to be $37 million, and then he's going to end up getting paid, because he said this is a weird thing. He said, and this is coming from an NFL office guy that was his job, is working these deals.
Yeah.
Saying it sounds weird, but this injury is actually giving Dak Prescott more leverage against the Cowboys. Of like, all right, let me hit the open market then.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's going to pay. There's a whole bunch of shitty quarterbacks in the NFL.
Oh my God, yeah.
Someone's going to pay Dak Prescott.
Yep.
So now the but again, Cowboys saying all the right things, but that's the NFL side too of this is a business of like, 100% we're going to say this, but don't be surprised if we cut you.
Yeah. If Andy Dalton takes us to the playoffs,
I
don't have to pay him as much as I have to pay you.
And it could be on the Mike McCarthy side, could be not a blessing. You don't want to say that when somebody gets their foot ripped off, but he was getting pass happy and that shit. That's not Andy Dalton.
No.
Probably going to have to hand off the ball to Elliott quite a bit.
Just a tid.
And you're probably going to see their team do a little better, because they're not going to throw the ball 45 times a game.
Yeah, well, I mean, their team can't get any worse, because that defense is worse than Atlanta.
Oh my God.
It's worse than Atlanta's defense. I don't care. They have way more talent, but they can't fucking tackle. Nope. They can't cover. They can't do a goddamn thing.
And then their corner comes back with, you think we're going full out on every play? You just can't do that for 70 plays. Sometimes we just can't go full out. Like, hey man, everybody knows that. Like,
you don't need
asking you to go 100% on 70 defensive plays.
Yeah,
everybody knows that that's not happening. You can't say that though when your defense is fucking straight up garbage. Because
terrible.
All the pressure that's on the defensive coordinator is now gone, because now the coordinator, well, the guys aren't playing. I've got the scheme.
Yeah.
They're just not giving me 100%.
Yeah. For one, I could have told you that hiring Mike Nolan was the biggest mistake Mike McCarthy could have made. He was fucking terrible everywhere he's went.
Yeah.
He was terrible with the Niners. He was terrible with the Buccaneers. He was fucking garbage everywhere.
Weird how people just keep getting jobs.
Yes. Though. Yes.
They just get rotated.
I don't know how. I mean, so Ron Rivera did the best hire ever and hired Jack Del Rio, who was a head coach and a successful head coach and a successful defensive coordinator. If I'm Mike McCarthy, I'm calling Wade Phillips. I know they had a little skirt with the Dallas thing. Okay, whatever. I'm getting a defensive coordinator that has proven to be good, because it seems like they're all in on you, Mike McCarthy. So you may want to help them out a little bit. Yeah. Jesus. I hate when sucky people keep getting jobs. It pisses me off.
Well, I hate that with Dallas when you watch them. I like Dak. Great quarterback. But it's just one of those things, too, of like, hey, in the NFL, man, I know it's a pass-happy league, But you know who doesn't do that? The teams that win still run the fucking football.
Yeah.
And you happen to have just paid a guy that you won't. You have Ezekiel Elliott making $16 million that you gave him fucking 12 touches.
Yeah.
And then Dak threw the ball 47 times.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You don't have to throw the ball that much if you're not down 5 scores.
Well, that's where they go to. You know, the one game that I watched a full game with them is when they played Cleveland.
Okay, yeah.
And they're like, another game where Dak throws for 400 yards. It's like, yeah, but he didn't until the fourth quarter, and Cleveland was in a prevent defense.
Yeah.
And they just, and then when Cleveland needed to turn it back up, they did.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, yeah, we're going to let you score. We're just going to make you take 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's no pressure. I think a lot of people get hung up in stats, and they don't realize how many times that happens.
Oh, yeah.
Back to the Dwayne Haskins. He throws for 315 yards and then gets benched. Well, a lot of that yardage came in the fourth quarter when they were down 30.
Just garbage time. I mean, it's all garbage time stuff.
Look at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dak.
Poor guy.
I think he's going to end up getting paid, though.
Yeah.
He'll get paid.
Yeah, I don't think the Cowboys are going to let him go.
I don't think they will either, but that's an option.
Yep.
Because here's the other option. If you don't franchise him, because that's a tough franchise to give him $37 million. But if you let him hit the open market, you might not be willing to pay him as much as
anybody else. He may be the second highest paid quarterback if he hits the open market.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. You franchise tag him. Now you have another round of big-time quarterbacks setting the market again.
Mm-hmm.
Where they could have, when they should have done the deal last year or 2 years ago, because usually it's in between year 2 and 3 when they do that with quarterbacks. You didn't want to do it. And you could have got him to sign in that $30 million mark.
Yeah, and had him cheap.
Now it's $35 million, which he was willing to sign for, but he wanted 4 instead of 5, and you wanted 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's going to go 38. Now it's going to go 41.
Yeah, and somebody's going to be willing to pay that.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's only been in the league for, what, 5 years?
Well, it's still his rookie deal that he's working on.
I mean,
yeah, it's year 5. It was the option year. And then they got a transition year on 6.
Yeah. Just crazy.
Because I can't remember who comes up, but I think a big-name quarterback's due for a contract extension this coming off season.
Oh, really?
That's going to set, the market back up again of like, now you're going to have to pay Dak $40 a year.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just the way it goes. Did your headphones die?
They're going in and out, and I brought the wrong kind of batteries.
Oh, no.
It's fine.
That's all right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to kick you.
I mean, you do it every time.
Now it's a rub. Love you.
Easy. Take it easy. Yeah, so it's the Cowboys have so mishandled that. And that's the other one of like you talk about Kansas City spending money. Like, fuck, Dallas paid everybody except their quarterback.
Exactly.
Everybody except the quarterback.
Both inside linebackers. They paid their defense, which is atrocious. They pay Zeke. They pay Cooper.
And then don't use him.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a running back that makes $16 million a year, only second behind Christian McCaffrey because he got paid as a wide receiver and a running back.
Yeah.
And we don't give him the ball.
Yeah. That's like buying a new vehicle and leave it in the garage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to drive it.
I never understood that.
I don't want it to get used. All right. So you want to do some picks?
Sure.
Okay. You want to do 5 again?
That works with me.
Okay. Let's do 5. First game we're going to pick. Let's go with the 0-5 Falcons versus the 1-4 Vikings.
Vikings.
Okay. Fuck it. I'll go Falcons. They get their first win. I know you just said about the different schemes, but you know what? Everybody seems to pick up their game once their coaches get fired. Yeah,
and I kind of figured you were going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody that I've seen has been relating that to the Houston thing. Way different situation.
Oh, way different situation.
Way different situation.
No, I'm not comparing it to the Houston thing at all. I mean, no, way different situation. That team has still talent on the field.
Right.
And
not much.
And Romeo Crennel has been a coach for a long time.
That everybody always seemed to love.
Yeah. Okay. This is a really good one. Washington and the Giants.
Oh my God.
I'm going Giants. They're getting their first win today.
I'll go Washington.
Okay.
Man, I don't even know.
I don't know how you do that.
Like, they should just, whoever wins the coin flip, they should just save everybody's time. Well, Giants, you won the coin flip. Game over.
Yeah. Here's your game checks.
Yeah. That's, yeah. Ugh. That's an ugly game.
Mm-hmm. All right. Browns, Steelers.
Steelers.
Okay.
Big.
I'm going to go Steelers, too.
That's one. I mean, I feel like the Steelers are flying under the radar, which I don't know how.
Yeah.
Because they're super good, and it's not like they're a playoff team every year.
Yeah.
The fact that they almost made the playoffs
last year
with
three different quarterbacks.
One of them was Duck Hodges.
Yeah, Duck Hodges. Yeah. Here we go. What is that? 3 games already?
Yeah.
Okay. Packers, Bucks.
That's in Tampa.
Yeah, that's a toughie.
That's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
I was listening to Lombardi talk the other day because I remember I've been telling you that I always catch knowledge.
Yeah.
Of shit that you don't think about.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 Florida teams are playing at home this week.
Yeah.
And it's a time of year, and he said this because most of the teams that he was with was northern teams. He says, people don't pay attention to that heat, and it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like if you watch those games, you watch a close game, and then the Florida teams in the fourth quarter tend to pull away.
Yeah.
That's why. That once you're dead, you're dead. Now, saying that, I'm gonna go with the Packers. I'm just gonna write out an Aaron Rodgers thing until it happens.
Yeah. I'm going Packers as well. I'm sorry. I still don't buy the Bucks yet.
I put the Bucks in that category, kind of how the Patriots always were with Brady, of like, we don't give a shit right now as long as we make the playoffs. And I seen they just trade for they just traded with New England for who did they get? Did they get Edelman?
No. What do you mean they're I didn't see anybody get traded for anybody.
I could have swore I seen that unless it was a fake. It could have been a fake thing too. But
I think it was a fake thing.
Because it was the little white slot receiver that they have in Tampa that they traded him to New England for one of Tom Brady's old slot receivers.
No, that was just a joke.
Okay.
Because it was when that little slot receiver from
it's the
Tampa,
same person.
Yeah, it was a thing because it was the first one I saw. It was a meme of Bill Belichick writing down on his piece of paper, and it said so and so's contract's up in a year or something like that, and he was like writing down the note or whatever. No, that was just a joke.
I just seen that real quick. I'm like, it seems like a weird thing because they're the same person.
Yeah, and this one's younger,
older.
Yeah. I don't buy the Bucks for a couple reasons. One, they get penalized more than anybody in football, which pretty much lost them the game in Chicago the other night.
Pretty hard to do, seeing as the fact that they're not throwing penalty flags. Well, last week they kind of started.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't calling anybody for holding.
No,
but nobody was getting called.
There was twice where the Bucks were inside the 30, getting ready to go score, where they had a 3rd and 35.
Yeah.
Because of just stupid ass fucking penalties. They can't get you winning anywhere. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how good you are. You can't win when you have 3 times in a game where it's 3rd and 30.
Yeah.
Inside, the ball was inside the 30. You know what I mean? Just it's stupid. And I don't like what they're doing on offense. I don't know if they're trying to run the ball to set up the pass. I don't know if they're trying to pass the ball to set up the run. I don't know what they're doing.
They 100% were the team that needed Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
That's the one that made the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
The Leonard Fournette signing never made sense because he's just a downhill running back, which didn't fit.
The Shady McCoy one made sense if it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And Shady McCoy was still shady.
And that's what Le'Veon Bell is, except he can also just run it between the tackles.
Mm-hmm.
That's where
I
thought you would see him go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I agree with you on that one. They need somebody who can do both and not have to put in a whole different guy just to do that.
It's kind of like when you watch obviously being a Bengals fan of like when Giovanni Bernard comes in, it's like,
oh, it's passed.
Well, they're going to throw it to him because he's not running it.
Yeah.
I mean.
Exactly. Last game, we just talked about the team. Cardinals-Cowboys.
Man, that's a tough one because I'm going to go Red Rocket and the Cowboys because I'm fucking getting out on the Cardinals, man. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but they are garbage.
Yeah, they're not doing well right now. I'm still gonna go Cardinals because that until that defense shows that they can do something, the Cardinals offense can still put up points on the board. They guarded 2 weeks ago against the Browns. They guarded Odell Beckham 1-on-1 with no high safety.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, DeAndre Hopkins, in my opinion, is better than Odell.
Yeah. Different. He's better.
There's different players. Different.
Yes. Because DeAndre Hopkins isn't running by you.
Yes.
Where Odell Beckham is running by you.
Yeah, I understand that. But you still have to cover him. And when you don't have help, and your corners are...
Here's another...
That's my thing.
Here's a Michael Lombardi thing about the Cardinals.
Okay.
Watching that. And he's a big believer. Now... about the prototypical quarterback, stuff like that. But he says, but here's where it's starting to get. He says, you watch Kyler Murray in his completions, they're all outside the numbers. Mm-hmm. Nothing is over the middle because he can't see.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. 100%.
And he said these last couple weeks, you've seen defenses pressuring outside the numbers and leaving the middle of the field open, and Kyler Murray can't do anything with it.
Oh, I can buy that 100%. I mean, he's 6 foot. Is he? I mean, he's the Drew Brees 6 foot.
Yeah, that's the, fudged number because that was coming out when they're like, oh, he's 6 foot, and they're like, well, people were wondering if he was even close to 5'10". They were like that number before the combine was coming out at like 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So that I mean,
either way, a prototypical left tackle is 6'5" minimum
anymore.
A center who you have to see over in the middle is typically 6'1" to 6'2". Well, if you're 5'10", that's still a few inches taller than you can see.
Yeah,
and you're wearing shoulder pads and a helmet, so you just look taller anyway.
But that was the first time I'd heard the height thing questioned.
Yeah,
and everybody always because Drew Brees. I mean, obviously, but sometimes people are just the exception. And I don't know that anybody's putting Kyler Murray in the Drew Brees category. Like, Drew Brees, fucking hollow. He owns most of the passing records in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So maybe not compare him to a guy that's only been out for a couple years.
Yeah.
Now, Kyler Murray is one of the... I mean, he's got to be the top 3 best athlete. I mean, he was top 10 draft pick in 2 fucking different leagues. I mean, you think about that?
Yeah.
Top 10 draft pick in 2 different sports. So athletic-wise, one of the best.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, things are... Oh, that hurts your insides?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah,
it kind of felt like a weird thing. I was like, I wonder what happened when he sneezed that it looked like it hurt that much. And then I forgot that you had your dick shortened.
Yeah. Oh, I'm good.
Just going to let that one go?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
You going to laugh?
I can't laugh. It hurts right now. Yeah. Oh, I think they're all jumbled up in there.
Yeah.
My dicks.
That was a joke if the had your insides worked on that they went in from the inside and pulled your dick back in a little bit because it was too long. The doctor said it's too long.
God, I was
and then he came out and said, you need to lay back because you're in too good a shape. You're too healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was a Family Guy thing when like Peter blew off going to the doctor for his physical or whatever. And Lois goes, how'd it go at the doctor? He goes, he actually said I'm too healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Kyler Murray thing of like, because, you know, first 2 weeks, superstar. Next 2 weeks, ooh.
Yeah, they had some time to figure him out.
Quarterback is what he looked at.
Yeah.
I mean, it just kind of.
Yeah.
So I don't know where to go with. So that's why I'm going to go with Andy Dalton, assuming that they're going to run the ball. Also remember, Andy Dalton has his problems throwing picks and stuff like that. Let's also not forget that Andy Dalton has won a lot of NFL football games.
He has.
And then let's also not forget what happened to the Cardinals.
Chandler Jones?
That Chandler Jones guy is kind of a big deal for the opposing quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's not playing.
Yeah.
So that's, and now
Yeah,
if we're
that's a
going to
toughie.
give Ezekiel Elliott the ball, I mean, it's things are stacking up that the Cowboys should win this game.
Yeah.
And it should be no problem for them to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still the Cowboys.
They'll find a way.
Well, it's still, you can't even say that they're still the Cowboys. They're still in the NFC East.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that fucking division
Now
is
the
just
wins
a
are going to
whole-
start coming as they start playing each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that division is... it's always the worst. And they should always... And three of the teams have so much talent on their team. The Eagles and the Cowboys, and even... Well, used to be. The Giants had so much talent on those teams, and it was always the fucking worst.
Right.
Always the worst.
Here's one that's getting really weird with the NFL. It happened a little bit last year. And now we're into a point where teams are kind of what they are now. I know a lot of people saying they're figuring it out. And I said that like with the Buccaneers, but that's kind of that's how they always were in New England, is like, hey, the Patriots were not great at the beginning of the year, but by week 16, 17, they were the best team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of built up to that. But now like teams are what they are now. And it's just shocking how many double-digit point spreads.
Yeah.
And like 9.
Yeah.
More
Nines.
than 8 points.
Yeah.
Like 7. It used to be like if you got a 7.5 point spread, that was fucking crazy in the NFL.
Yeah.
And now if you get one like the, I want to say like the the Green Bay Tampa game's pretty much a pick 'em. I think it's a 1.5 or a point. But for the most part, it's like 10 points, 9 points, 7 points, 10 points, 8 points. That there's a lot of ass kickings.
There's 4 games this week where it's 8+.
Which is it's
crazy.
Unheard of. It's the NFL.
Crazy.
3 to 5 was always the and it was usually 3 points with that hook of the half.
Yeah.
3.5 is a standard, pretty standard in the NFL of they're field goal
and
games.
And if it was a team that was super better than the other team, it was still like 5.5.
Yeah.
It wasn't 10 or
Yeah.
What last year didn't we have one that was like 17?
Yeah. And I think it covered.
I think it did too. Yeah.
But it's just one of those things, like, I think the Bengals are an 8 on the dog side against the Colts.
Are they?
I think.
I don't think that was one of the ones I counted, but
or maybe
check.
it could be down now.
Yeah, it could have started out. I guess it could have started out 7.5. Yeah, they went down. Yeah.
But just again, I watched that game last week. Joe Burrow's going to die.
Yeah, he is.
Here's one to talk about. This has been a good talking point. Everybody knows that Cincinnati has their guy. Like if you've watched those games,
yeah,
Joe Burrow is an NFL quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean, it is just, you can see it. He commands the team. Now he's getting his head ripped off, which is going to be a problem because for him to make it 5 years in the league at this point, at this rate that they're going right now, isn't going to happen.
No,
because
he's going to die.
He got sacked another 8 times last week.
Yeah.
But now, looking at this, you got him doing that. They know they got their guy. Everybody in the league knows that Joe Burrow's the guy.
Yep.
Even the NFL guys are talking like, this guy's a fucking dude.
Mm-hmm.
Then a doctor shoves a straw into Tyrod Taylor's lungs, and Herbert comes in. And slinging it all over the fucking field.
He makes me happy.
Oh my God!
Because we talked shit about him so hard because he played at Oregon.
Nobody knew. And you just have to go under assumption because you never see him play.
Yeah.
That he was a typical Oregon quarterback that's just a runner that can, like a Marcus Mariota. Hey, you're really fast, but not the case. Guy's a gun slinger.
Dude's a fucking
and I heard an interview with a defensive back. Or no, it was a guy who's retired, but his son plays at like Arizona. And I think it was last year when they were playing Oregon. And he said where the parents comes right next to the visitors' locker room. And he said, I just happened to be standing there when Herbert walked out. He said it was so intimidating.
Because he's massive?
Said the only person that he's seen with that kind of size and who it reminds him of is Cam Newton.
Oh, Jesus.
That people don't realize that he
does look
that big.
He looks big out
like
there, though.
He's 6'6".
Yeah.
2,
Yeah.
That to give, because you don't think about it, because Cam Newton's such a freak on the field, but Justin Herbert is that same way. And he is just looking like the guy. I feel bad for Tyrod Taylor because it happened again.
Yes.
But
it's a thing where the Chargers are still the fucking Chargers and find a way to lose at the end of the game.
Yeah. But that's who they are.
Yeah.
But we're just talking quarterbacks now. So Joe Burrow's a dude.
Yeah.
Everybody admits it. Herbert's on his way to everybody admitting is a dude.
Yeah.
And now you're Miami with this Tua guy sitting in the background behind Fitzmagic going, man, did we get the right guy?
Yeah, I know it.
I mean, because it's like, oh, God, if he comes in and plays and isn't good.
He isn't good. We are fucked. We are so fucked.
Because you were never getting Burrow. That was out of the
But you had to choose between him and Herbert.
Yeah.
And chose the Alabama guy.
The guy, the general manager for San Diego, didn't care. He came out and said we were good with good with all three quarterbacks. Whoever fell to us, we were going to take.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, did it luck out.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Ooh.
Well, you know what? And rookie quarterbacks, I will give to coaching.
Yeah.
Because Anthony Lynn, I think, is a very, very good coach for the Chargers. I really do. I really like the guy. He hired Pep Hamilton as the quarterback's coach.
Right.
And Pep Hamilton has been around for a long, long time. That helps a player. When you got a guy who has a lot of experience, and I watched the Hard Knocks, Pep Hamilton seems like a really guy who is personable.
Yeah.
He's not a guy like, fuck, you can't do that shit. What the fuck? You know, he's not that guy. He's a guy who comes over and talks to you like a person.
Right.
And not as like a piece of meat that just is there to throw the ball. You know what I mean? So that helps a rookie. When you feel comfortable nobody feels comfortable making a mistake, but when you don't feel like you're dead after you just missed a pass or threw a pick and somebody can come over and tell you what they did wrong, you feel a little bit more comfortable. You know, and that's what I like what Anthony Lynn said. He's our guy. He doesn't have to look over his shoulder. He's the starter. Right. Which that gives you a big fresh of breath of air, whatever I want to say. I can't talk, but fresh breath air. God, I'm an idiot.
That's such a weird thing. Even when they make that draft and they have Tyrod Taylor, and you're a coaching staff making the decision to do it the way it used to be of, hey, man, you're going to sit behind this guy and you're going to learn, because a lot of quarterbacks get thrown in and their career's over before they even get to their next contract just because they're on a shitty team.
Yeah.
But even when they try, it's just the getting stabbed by a doctor that they tried to sit him out for a year and couldn't even do it.
Yeah.
And that's the thought of, I think Fitzmagic is just not going to, I think they're just going to hold back on Tua, which they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But like week 9 or something like that is the time frame, because I think they have like 3 games where it's something like I want to say it's like they play the Jets, and then they play like the Giants, and then they play like the Jets again.
Oh, okay.
Like there's this 3-game stretch in the Dolphins where it's like, if you were ever going to do it, this is where you do it.
Well, I mean, today, if they wanted to start over the Jets, then...
Yeah, but I think Fitzmagic's just stick with it because he's awesome.
Yeah, he is awesome.
I mean...
So it's the Jets, Rams, Cardinals, Chargers, Broncos, Jets. So Broncos, Jets, Bengals probably is that stretch. That's that stretch.
Broncos,
yeah.
Probably like, if you were ever going to do it to see what you got, that's when you do it. But then again, you add that extra team, you win some games, you can't.
No.
You can't do that. But, yeah, I mean, we're just Fitzmagic. We're a Fitzmagic show.
Uh-huh. We like him.
We like the guy.
He went to Harvard, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Gotta like him.
How can you not? But that was just that was a nice talking point this week of like, boy, if you're the Dolphins, you better fucking hope Tua's that guy, because
you look like
everybody else
idiots.
looks like they hit gold on that.
Yeah, I mean, I was so surprised to watch him against the Saints on Monday night. Herbert,
yeah.
I was like, wow, he threw the one touchdown to Keenan Allen, rolling away.
Yeah,
running to his right. Threw it on a dot without any effort. It didn't even look like he threw it with his legs. He just went and fucking flicked it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. It it looked as effortless as when Aaron Rodgers chucks it deep.
Yeah.
Like that's how strong he looked throwing the ball down the field.
That was a good story because that guy that I was telling you, now I forgot his name, even though I mentioned it earlier. That was the contract guy for the Packers.
Andrew Brandt.
He was talking about when they drafted Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's the one that called Rodgers. He called Rodgers to talk to his agent that they had whatever that pick 24 or whatever the hell it was. He says, I call, and the phone picks up, and whatever the agent's name, he goes, hey, the guy is like, no, this is Aaron. He goes, oh, well, can you put your agent on? So he gives the phone to the agent, and the agent's like, hey, are you taking us? Are you taking us? He goes, just hold on, just stay on the line, because they were waiting to see for a trade. Just, hey, because they still have Brett Favre.
Exactly.
So they were waiting to see if the trade, and nobody called to trade for that pick, so they ended up taking him. And he says, instantly, as soon as that draft pick is made, the phone started ringing from Brett and from Brett's agent of like, what are you doing? He said then, because they didn't really have a general manager, they just kind of have the president, whoever the president was at the time. Said they got to their first workouts when Aaron first got there in training camp, and said they were both kind of on the field watching. He says, we're like 20 yards apart. Said Aaron takes a snap, rolls out to the right, throws a 60-yard bomb while moving, or 60-yard bomb on the run that hit whoever their big wide receiver was at the time.
Greg Jennings, Donald Driver.
Dead nuts in stride, perfect. And he said we both kind of looked at each other and locked eyes of like, we didn't even need to talk, but it was like, yeah, we got our guy. That was his first pass that he'd thrown as a pass of like, okay.
Yep.
All right. We made the right decision.
We're fine.
We are fine. But because and then the other part of like, when's the last time you heard about that Bryce Love?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's saying shit because Aaron Rodgers is still fucking Aaron Rodgers.
Nobody's like, you don't even know the guy exists anymore. Yeah. Which that was a good thing hearing about Aaron, because they asked him about, he's like, well, if a guy asks me a question, I'll help him. But it's not my job to coach him. Like, I have to get myself ready to play this other group of NFL players Sunday. So I can't spend all my time teaching him how to play the position. That's why we have coaches.
Well, it's 100% true. I still have to do my job.
Yeah.
If he's hurt, it's a completely different story. Yeah. But he's not. He's playing the position better than anybody right now.
And since we were timed off and stuff or whatever, it's been 2 weeks or whatever since our last. Did we talk after Aaron Rodgers made the comment of like my down years or other quarterbacks' career years?
We didn't get to that
which
yet.
is the greatest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, they're saying I'm washed up and that I'm just having nothing but down years. But boy, my down years are career years for all the other quarterbacks. Was such a
awesome
savage thing to say.
It's awesome.
And 100% the truth.
It is.
I mean,
it is. It's crazy how his down years are 4,500 yards passing, 20 or 30 some touchdowns, and he's washed up.
Last year, they said he's washed up. He threw 28 touchdowns with what, 2 interceptions, 3 interceptions? I mean, it was like less than 5.
Yeah.
I think it was 3. And went to the NFC Championship game.
Said he was washed up.
Where they gave up over 200 yards before contact to the opposing team's running backs. And it was basically his fault, apparently.
Yes, that they couldn't tackle.
Oh, he's washed up. He can do. It's like, that's the defense he had all year.
Yeah. And he's
in the NFC Championship game. What the fuck are you people talking about?
Exactly. People are fucking idiots.
Idiots. And it's weird because there's so many bad quarterbacks in the NFL.
And
like most of them.
Yeah, and they say he's washed up.
They're going to talk about one of the greatest ever and go like, this guy just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, the hard thing to say is like he's probably your MVP guy right now. But Russell Wilson's right there. Just because of what he's having to do.
That, and the only reason that Aaron Rodgers will not get it over Russell Wilson is because every game I've ever seen them talk about Russell Wilson, they've mentioned it, is he's never got a vote. He's never got a vote for it.
Which is weird.
Which is weird. Super weird. But it's a thing where, they made that's such a big stigma that he's going to get all of the votes now.
And the one thing with him, because the era that he's in, and I'm not a Russell fan, but I will come to his defense in this.
Yeah.
Is because he was still kind of in that era where everybody, the statue prototypical quarterback was the guy that you had to have to win. And he's not that.
No.
At all.
No.
And it's like they hold that against him, that he just kind of improvises and makes it's like, he just kind of improvises, just throwing the ball around. Yeah, for 400 fucking yards and comeback victories is kind of just what he does.
It would be in the same situation if Tebow ended up being what he was in college.
Yeah.
It would be that.
Yeah.
I mean, people shit on I mean, his own president of football said, you're not a quarterback because of what you do.
Right.
I want somebody else. You know, I mean, his own.
And that's the other one of like, Tim Tebow's, he should still be in the league.
Yeah.
He's better than a lot of people, but he's just too popular.
Yeah.
You just, like New England showed that of like, we have Tom Brady.
And you're going to talk
to We brought this guy as a backup, and you're asking, is he going to get in the game?
Yeah.
Is he going to start? Of like, well, no.
No, sorry.
This is fuck Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I mean,
sorry.
That was his whole thing, is he's just too popular and too likable.
Yeah. And too hateable, apparently, from everybody.
Apparently.
Because you either liked him or you hated him.
Yeah. I'm getting on the hate train.
Yeah.
I follow him on Twitter, and it's just, he's getting too positive.
Yeah.
It's just, hey,
too
man.
Positive. Some things are bad.
Tone it down a little. Sometimes people have bad days, but apparently you don't, which maybe he never does.
Maybe he doesn't.
Because it seems like his life's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
he plays AAA baseball.
Yeah.
And and like his jersey is like the number one selling of the MLB jerseys, and he's not even on a roster.
And he talks about football one day a week.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good life.
Good life. His wife's hot.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Finally had sex.
Yep.
When he got married.
That's a positive.
He's probably enjoying that. It's awesome.
I would assume so. I mean,
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
You've got a kid, so at least once.
At least once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, it's fun. People enjoy it.
It's good cardio.
I like to just lay there. I'm not getting my cardio in. She can work on her legs. Tim Tebow, too popular to be in the NFL. I mean, that's a weird thing to say. The guy was just too popular to be in the NFL.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Russell Wilson's probably going to win, even though I think Aaron Rodgers should.
Oh, I think Aaron Rodgers should too. But yeah, when you make a big deal about him never ever getting a vote,
Aaron Rodgers ends up going 12-4, and Seattle ends up like 9-7.
Yeah, that could be.
It's pretty.
Yeah, when that defense starts to catch up with you.
Yeah,
yeah.
Or like we talked about earlier, one hamstring pull from DK Metcalf, and that's the other thing with the Russell Wilson thing. It's not like he's had good receivers his career.
No.
For the most part, they've been garbage.
Doug Baldwin was his best receiver for a long time. Yeah,
like his whole career.
Yeah, and then Tyler,
Doug Baldwin.
They've never been like DK Metcalf is bigger than most receivers anyway. But his other receivers haven't been over 6 foot.
Right.
Doug Baldwin, Golden Tate, and Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
For a majority of his career, he's been throwing to receivers under 6 foot.
And that's one of those things, too, of like, because that's kind of an Aaron Rodgers thing, too, of like, he's never had like super, like.
I mean, Donald Driver, Greg Jennings.
We're okay.
Those guys are good.
I get it.
Okay.
But we'll talk about since post Super Bowl, because he's had nothing.
Jordy Nelson.
He's white, Seth.
I understand that, but still.
I mean, come on.
He's still Jordy Nelson.
But never had, like the DeAndre Hopkins, never had that.
Just
and Russell's kind of the same way, because DK Metcalf, very good.
Mm-hmm.
He's not getting talked about for being.
Oh, yeah.
He's just fast.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, well, he's got 1% body fat, which is no, he doesn't. And people say that, well, at the combine, he had 2.6% body fat.
I think you're
dead.
No,
he doesn't, because you die at that. Like, you realize, like, more than that is like the body fat of your organs, which you need to live.
Yeah.
So I want to say, they say, like bodybuilders, when they cut down, they get to about 4% body fat, and they are on death's door. Like, it's like, hey, another day and you're dead.
Dead, yeah, exactly.
And you're saying that this guy's just walking around, living, playing in the NFL at less than that? No.
You're an idiot.
Is he 6, 7, 8? Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
When you're that shredded, you're under 10.
You're in that. You're under 10. But to say, like, 2.7, no.
Nope, you're dead.
No, because that's just bones at that point in time. I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
The same people that say, and I said it earlier, and I said I hate to use it. It's like people talking like that are the same people that say, well, he's got a lot of arm talent.
Yeah.
The fuck does that mean? He can throw it hard?
Yeah, exactly.
Marcus Russell had that.
Yeah.
He threw it 60 yards from sitting on his ass.
Okay.
When are you doing that?
Exactly. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, that was, well, we didn't even talk about Nick Saban getting his... How intimidating would it be being an Alabama player? Obviously, Nick Saban, you just have to feel like when he raises his voice at practice, like it's a, oh, fuck.
Yeah, we're dead.
But him testing positive and coaching through Zoom meetings off a video camera through a PA system, like a voice of God.
Yeah. Are you there, God?
Coming over the, hey.
Yeah.
God damn it, I said you need help.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's like, I just, the
Where the hell is
intimidation of like, just over the speaker system, Nick Saban yelling at you.
Yeah. There's no music today, guys. It's just Coach Saban over the talk box.
I mean, that was just,
what the fuck was that? Yeah.
Yeah. I like Nick Saban. I really do. I mean, just, I think he might be, he ranks up with the Greg Popovich with me as far as the interviews, like how they do in between quarters in the NBA, and it's always before or after the half.
Yeah.
Because Nick Saban's one of those guys where they ask one question and he answers it for so fucking long he knows they can't get another question.
Yeah.
Coach, what do you think about your team? Well, I mean, it's like a 2-minute answer to a we're not playing good, question, so that, hey, there's no time for you to ask another question. I'm out of here.
Or the complete opposite of, how'd your team be doing? Good. Are you happy with it? We're winning.
He's never happy.
No.
I've watched games where he's up 40-0 at halftime. He's like, wow, that one offsides that,
My favorite Nick Saban moment, it was a series of moments. So it's the second time. It's the national championship game where Georgia and them are playing each other.
Okay.
So it's the overtime, the play before Alabama throws the home run ball to win.
Right.
Okay. The play before almost gets picked off.
Right.
He is throwing his fucking headset, cussing up a storm, all this shit, because it's live. It's the clip I'm watching. It's not on TV. It's like on Twitter showing his reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, he chucked his fucking headset. He's cussing. He's doing this to Tua, all this shit. 30 seconds later, he throws it again and is celebrating.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, holy shit.
I think one of my favorite things from that is, and I'm not a Lane Kiffin fan, but his pre-celebration, that at the snap, 2 steps off the line, Lane Kiffin has his hands up in the air already.
Yeah.
I was like, they're fucked.
Yeah. Yep.
And he was so wide open.
Oh, I know it.
So wide open.
It was the exact same play.
Yeah.
It was the exact same play. Literally. Because he threw it under. He threw it short.
Yeah.
And almost got picked off. So, okay, we'll just run it again. It's going to be open again.
Yeah.
Throw it farther this time.
Yeah. So wide open.
Crazy.
Here's one, because I seen, and I can't remember the way it all played out. Obviously, I remember the play, and it's the 5-year anniversary of the Michigan State.
The punt.
The punt that ends up in a touchdown of like, there's 5 seconds left.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Cobra or whatever they ended up calling it.
Yeah.
And here's my thought. Now, I'd have to go back and watch that series. Everybody gives shit to the kicker and all that stuff of how that all went down. Everybody on the team, all you had to do was tackle the guy before he got to the goal line and the game was over.
Yeah.
Because there's no time left.
Yeah.
It's 5 seconds. And here's my thing, listening to a lot of coaches and GMs and stuff that I've been listening to, over the past year, of that nobody blamed Jim Harbaugh of how did you not get those 5 seconds ran off?
Yeah.
Of like, because they always think time clock management is a timeout thing.
Mm-hmm.
Of how did you get yourself into a position where you had to punt the ball with 5 seconds left?
Yeah, couldn't just.
Secondly, the average NFL or the average college play takes 5 to 6 seconds anyway. So your quarterback literally could have just took the snap and ran backwards
and been fine.
Would have never got caught.
Yeah.
But nobody ever gave you, that was never a talking point of, hey, coach, how did you get yourself in a position to have 5 seconds left on the clock?
Mm-hmm.
I think Michigan State had a timeout, didn't they?
Yes.
But still, you didn't operate properly to get yourself to.
There should have, at very minimal, they would have had a second.
Yeah.
And you could have just snapped it and take a knee.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the game would have been over.
Right.
But still, yeah. I mean, we'll find out this year if Jim Harbaugh is
no, he's
better
not.
than what he is.
We already know the answer to that. He's not. He's never been a good coach ever.
No.
He was okay in the NFL for a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
But once everybody caught up with the running quarterback scheme, that went away too.
Yeah, and then
he never been a good college football coach, period.
Well, he's also very in the old school factor of which is why he didn't work out in the 49ers
right.
of beating the shit out of you every day of practice.
And that was but man, at Stanford, he never won the conference.
Nope. They had Andrew Luck for 4 years.
He beat USC at the end of their run.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's done as a head coach. And you can say Stanford's still the exact same team they were when he was there.
Yeah.
They win 9 games.
Mm-hmm.
They usually beat somebody.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
But you did nothing with Andrew Luck. Well, he's quarterback guru. No, you had Andrew Luck.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a quarterback guru, you'd have one at Michigan.
Yeah.
Which you've yet to do.
Exactly.
Which shocks me.
What all the people are saying that this quarterback now is Cam Newton. That's who they're comparing him to.
Did he transfer in or did they actually recruit this guy?
I don't know. He's really big and he's athletic and it's either this dude or the senior in high school who's coming in next year. I can't remember,
right.
But they're comparing him to Cam Newton. A lot of the Michigan people are.
I always love that I just love comparisons. They're he's Cam Newton. No. Oh, no. Cam Newton is Cam Newton.
He's tall like him.
Probably not going to see that.
Yeah.
Herbert is that same size with the huge arm and all that stuff.
Not the same
you've
person.
only heard the one guy say it, and he just said in stature.
Yeah, he didn't say.
You're not comparing him to Cam Newton.
No, it's like saying, this guy is the next Lamar Jackson. No, he's not.
No.
There's only one. This guy is like Patty Mahomes. Nope, nobody is. Nope. This guy's Tom Brady. Tom Brady is easier to compare to because he doesn't have an absolutely over the top
anything.
He's just fucking good.
He's just better than you.
And he knows it.
Yeah.
That's why Tom Brady's Tom Brady.
It's two of the greatest. It's easier to compare to two of the greatest of all time with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. And even more so to Peyton Manning because it was his brain and work ethic.
Yeah.
Because he threw a shitty looking floppy. He didn't throw spirals.
He didn't throw spirals.
Ever.
No.
Didn't have a huge arm.
Nope.
But he just knew everything.
Mm-hmm.
He knew what you were doing before you even thought about calling the play.
Yep.
And that was just.
That was it.
And he worked harder than everybody.
Yeah. So that's easier to compare to.
Yeah.
Tom Brady has the confidence and the knowledge himself. Obviously, he's smart too to know what you're doing. And that's just him. He's just got that. He is the one person that nobody talks about that has the it factor.
There's one that never gets a comparison that I've never heard. And it'd be funny to hear it at some point in time when kids coming out of college going to the NFL into the draft. For somebody to go, you know what, this guy coming out reminds me of Bo Jackson. Nobody has ever said that.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
You gotta think you gotta sit back if you're Bo Jackson, feel really good about that. Of people are trying to compare people to Cam Newton. The guy's 6'6", 280 and fast with a huge arm. In 20-some years, 30 years, nobody's ever said this guy
is Bo Jackson.
Reminds me of Bo Jackson. Nobody's ever
arguably one of the greatest college football players ever.
and ran himself out of the NFL because he was too strong.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one in the NFL that would have broke his hip like that because he was too strong to get tackled.
Yep.
He ran his hip out of its joint. Not by separation, by breaking it.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
That's such a... And then never worked out. He just never worked out because he was just
better.
But
just a freak.
I just want to hear that one time. I want to hear like Todd McShay or Mel Kiper going, he's probably the closest to Bo Jackson we've ever seen. Nope. Because that's the other one is they claim, because it was in the finger trigger thing as far as stopwatches go, Bo Jackson's size, that they still claim that he ran a 4.1.
Really?
Is what people say. Like 4.1, 4.2. But, it's on, you can make somebody run 5 seconds.
Size and speed, the only person that comes to mind from my era, because I only watch highlights of Bo Jackson, obviously I'm not that old. The only one in my head that comes to mind of size and speed is Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
That's the only one that ever comes close of size. Adrian Peterson's fucking huge.
Yeah.
And he was always faster than hell. That's the only person that can come to mind who is
And that
both.
was never even mentioned.
No. Nobody
ever even mentioned that.
Nope.
Yeah. But so I think you just have to put Bo Jackson maybe as the greatest football player ever, just so the fact that nobody ever compares to him.
Yeah.
And not to mention how fucked up his career was for the fact of how the Buccaneers screwed him over, so he couldn't get drafted. So he went. So nobody couldn't be drafted. So because everybody thought he was going to play football, so nobody drafted him in baseball. So he ends up with the Royals, all-star stud.
Mm-hmm.
But then everybody assumed that he was just going to stick with baseball, so he falls however many rounds in the NFL when he's eligible, and the Raiders get him.
God, Tecmo Bowl sucked.
Oh my God, you can't. You're not allowed to use him.
You can't use him.
And the only comparison to that and Tecmo Bowl is one of the years in Madden was the Michael Vick.
Oh yeah,
because they made him so you just
unstoppable.
Just take the snap and run around the corner, and nobody can stop him.
They made the Raiders unstoppable that year because if you use Marcus Allen, he can't get tackled either.
No,
it was ridiculous. I played Tecmo Bowl 3 times in my life. 2 times. It was
Super
the rule.
Tecmo Bowl.
Super Tech, sorry.
Tecmo Bowl didn't have Bo Jackson.
The rule was you couldn't use Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
And I
only had like 8 teams.
Yeah. Well, I've never played it before. This was on like an old ass Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, why? Why can't you play? And he goes, okay, well, we'll play a game and you can use Bo Jackson. I said, okay. So I use him. Yeah. It's just,
you just run around.
Tackled. You don't,
hey, we're
going to
do the pitch
field?
to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you start doing the zigzag, nobody can catch
him. Yeah.
You can watch videos on like YouTube. I think they speed them up where they'll play it, and like 5-minute quarters, and they'll just run one play.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll just have Bo Jackson run around the whole field and run
5 minutes.
for 5 minutes.
I've seen those.
And score a touchdown.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's funny.
All right. Well, you know what? It's been 2 hours, so
I know it.
We should probably just get out of here.
All righty.
We're done with the Bo Jackson talk.
Okay.
All right.
Whiteside.